In this video, I'm going to unbox and show off and showcase and talk about 4 cool gadgets that I have that were recently sent to me for review. So this webpage called coolgadget.com reached out to me and said, hey, we make a whole bunch of cool stuff. Would you like to try any of it out? Perhaps make a video about it. Here's some suggestions. And I asked for a couple other specific items as well. And they sent them over to share them here and give my thoughts. So let's dive in. All right, so the first one I'm going to talk about is a headlamp. Pretty neat. Nice little box packaging. We're going to open this one up. And I really like the form factor of this. I think a device like this is very useful for us in the home theater and hi-fi hobbies, particularly when we're hunting around for things in our dark home theaters, hooking up subwoofers, messing with our projectors, whatever it might be, or particularly for me as well, being behind my big AV rack. I need extra light anytime I'm back there, plugging things in, installing things, and all of that. This guy comes in a nice little protective carrying case, which is actually the charger and my favorite USB-C. I want USB-C, all USB-C everywhere. It's the new standard, and it just makes charging everything so simple. So this thing has a neat, interesting design. Basically, it's an elastic strap. So there's a good amount of space there for me to be able to put this thing on and wear it. It rests comfortably. It doesn't pull too hard. I've had it on a number of times. Button on the top and a really nice bright light with a couple of dimmable levels before it turns off. The thing I really like the most about this, again, is kind of just the way it all goes together, the way it's all contained and kept together. I have a drawer full of tools that I keep around handy for home theater usage, and anytime you have loose cables, loose straps, and all that sort of stuff, things get just lost in a jumble or messed up in a jumble. But the fact that this thing kind of keeps everything nice and tidy and clean and rechargeable, no having to run to the convenience store and get little disc batteries when the thing goes out. I love everything, all the little electronic gadgets that I can get, again, being rechargeable and with USB-C. This will definitely be an indispensable part of my home theater toolkit going forward. Next up, they had a really interesting multi-function charging cable. So if we open this guy up, pull out a couple of different pieces to it. This is a really interesting cable, I think. So it's kind of just your normal-ish USB cable, but it has a secret power. So by default here, we're looking at a lightning connection and a USB-A, but wouldn't you know, there's a hidden USB-C connection on that end and a hidden USB-C connection on the other end. So this is basically your ultimate in functionality of a crossover cable. You need USB-C to USB-C, you got it. You need USB-C to USB-A, you got it. You need USB-A or USB-C to Lightning, which is still hanging around for just a few devices, you got that too. This is kind of like the all-in-one thing, particularly for a travel bag. If you've got, tablets, you've got a phone, you've got some headphones or wireless earbuds, maybe you've got an e-reader or a tablet, something else that you're taking with you. And as we are today, there's still a little bit of a jumble, a little bit of a mess of charging standards. Yeah, we're hoping to get there, but we're not quite there yet with everything always being USB-C. And instead of taking a rat's nest of crossover cables to be able to manage each one of your devices individually, here you go. One cable with all of those standards all in one. And just for the sake of completeness in terms of what's in the box, there are a couple of other little minor accessories here. Comes with a roll of Velcro and a kind of like wrap up little elastic type of cable organizer. You peel it off and we got a sticky back as well. So if you're keeping this thing maybe somewhere in a more permanent setup and it's perhaps a little longer than you need, well, tie up some of that excess cable and keep it handy. For me, again, I think the ultimate value of this is for travel or potentially maybe even leaving this one at the office. At work, I'm kind of in and out different days of the week. I've got some different devices with me, and it's handy to, again, just be able to take one cable and be able to charge my phone, charge my iPad, charge my AirPods, and all of that in one. Honorable mention as well for the flat braided style of the cable. Very nicely made, very nicely finished. And again, I like how these end adapters work as well. There's a nice snap there, keeping that in touch. It's not loose and dangly. Really cool. That is a cool gadget, the very definition of the whole thing. All right, number 3 is your type of desktop phone charging station. This is multifunction. It is magnetic based, so your iPhone MagSafe will fit right on there. Nice and flat, very svelte, and it folds up into a very nicely tensioned kind of multi-positional thing there. It's got kind of that cool, you know, see the copper charging bit inside. 15-watt fast charging. We can also pop this little front piece out so you have a nice little stand for your phone to actually rest into. And when we fully open it up, we have another secondary wireless charging spot there. So hey, you got your phone here, you got your AirPods here. This is exceptional, particularly for my office as well in terms of my use case. I want a place to be able to charge my phone all day when I'm sitting at my desk. And I do take my AirPods Pro to work as well, which means I can set the case right on there. That would charge there too. Again, I think it's really cool the way they did it. This like kind of clear acrylic. You can see the board, see the copper charging there. And once again, happy days, USB-C. Also included in the box. In this case, they give us actually a USB-C to USB-A cable. But of course, you could use it with any other charging cables, including that super multi-function one that we just talked about. I think because of the size here, and again, the ability of this thing to essentially fold up into such a nice compact little size, this would be awesome for travel. So I think I have my kind of two new travel buddies when it comes to taking stuff around. And to show off here, I have my iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that right on there. And yeah, we're good. Holding steady, again, nice. Not enough tension here to hold the phone. And I love this. So at work, at your desk, whatever, I think this is particularly cool for a stand like this, meaning you can set it upright. You can see here my phone is actually kind of larger than the base. I'm not actually getting a magnet connection there. So depending on your phone, you may or may not actually want to use that little part of the stand. But the MagSafe tension is so strong, it's good. But I love being able to have the phone upright, or when you're watching those YouTube videos, like all your favorite tech enthusiasm, put the phone sideways and you have your landscape video playback mode. This is definitely going to work with me, both this and the charging cable, and I'll be bringing them home though, I think, whenever I make trips in the future. All right, last up, bigger box this time. What could this one be? It's a vacuum cleaner, a rechargeable, portable, handy vacuum cleaner. We get a nice little carrying case there, big enough to hold the unit, with some space inside for a little netted storage area compartment there. But here we are, handheld, love it again, USB-C charging. Cool gadget. You got it all right with the USB-C. So we're talking about a handheld vacuum cleaner. Home theater application? You want to suck up all that popcorn and stuff from your home theater seats or the car or something like that? Man, this is perfect. So you can disengage the front, pop out the air filter. That's your chamber. Throw everything away. Pop that air filter back in and snap it right back into place. Hold the button to turn it on. A couple different speeds as well for adjustability. Of course, we're blowing air through the front, or we're pulling air in from the front to suck in, and we're blowing that air out the back. You do get a secondary filter, as well as a nice little box of accessories. There's that charging cable, similar to actually the other one. This is USB-C to USB-A, but again, you could do USB-C everything with using your existing chargers. We have an extension type of tip that lets you get in to harder crevices, and if you need to kind of sweep around and brush around, there is a brush tip that goes on that side. And neatly enough, it's a kind of a dual function device as well. So given again, we're sucking from the front, we're blowing out the back, perhaps you need to blow something off, dust something off, or even try to inflate something. You have a concentrated tip here on the back, and if you want to blow and dust, you have a soft tip as well, extension piece to put on there. Super multi-function. So there you go, 4 cool gadgets sent by coolgadget.com. Check out the site. They have a whole bunch of items in a bunch of different classes and categories. You may just find something pretty darn useful there if you go looking. There will be referral links down in the description below in the first pinned comment. Check it out. One last thought here. If I did have to crown a favorite between the 4 of these things, I think it's a pretty tight battle, but I would ultimately give it to the headlamp. I think from a home theater perspective, working around my system, working around my rack, this will just be the most useful item overall that I will probably get the most use out of, specifically in that home theater environment. But man, I do have to give the honorable mention to the combination of the multifunction USB cable and that MagSafe magnetic charger. That stuff is definitely going to work with me. I will use it every day there. And I think the combination of those two will like become a new mandatory traveling accessory. Check out coolgadget.com and let me know as well if anything there appeals to you and if you went ahead and picked anything up. As always, please do that regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, leave some comments, and come on back for more Cool Gadget, home theater, hi-fi, AV, discussion, all those other topics, and fun.